Right, yes, Simzel. Thami dropped his first studio album, aptly titled Never Lost. The offering is meant to breach the gap between the Brenda fassie Afro pop sounds to the soulful and still authentic sounds of Amanda Black. He describes his sound as R&B, Afro pop, and a mixture of cultural heritage. He joins us now in studio to speak to us more on the album. A very good morning and welcome to Morning Live, Thami. I don't even know where to start with you. I think, wow, what a journey you've had. I mean, you obviously had entered a competition, and that is how you got introduced to South African audiences. But how have you been finding the business of music now that you are your own artist?
Look, they normally say it's a cutthroat industry. It's dog eat dog, and I think I haven't had it easier. Luckily for me, you know, this wasn't the first time I had tried out to enter the industry itself. I'd been trying for, I think, over 6 years now, since I moved to Joburg 7 years ago, and it's a hard industry, but it just depends on how hard you work, and yeah, that's it.
And how would you say you've evolved as an artist, as that young artist who first came to Johannesburg seeking a music break, to the artist that you are today with your own album?
When I first came into the industry, when I first came to Joburg, I was really shy. Coy, I think is the word. But I think I've kind of sort of like evolved from that, performance-wise, and just interacting with people and socializing and all of that. I think I've changed in that regard. And also I've discovered myself, because making the album meant forgetting every other artist that I've listened to, that I look up to, whose song I've sung before, and some of them I'm famous for singing their songs. So I now had to dig deep for Thami and find that Thami and bring him into an album, bring him into life, introduce a new artist that people haven't seen before, haven't had the pleasure of listening to.
So tell us about what exactly we'll find in the album. Who's this Thami? Who's this new, refined Thami that we'll find in the album? And who did you work with?
The Thami in this album is very in love, I think. There's a lot of love in there. There's a lot of appreciation. And no, there's nobody in my life that I'm appreciating through the album. I think there's only one breakup song. Yeah, there's only one breakup song, and then the rest is just love. So it's 9 tracks of love and 1 track of heartbreak. So that just maybe says I was in a space of say maybe I was in love, but I don't think so. I worked with Brenda. She does a similar genre, and I worked with Kaya Mteto as producer, and yeah, it's a beautiful album.
And, you know, just during your creative process, what comes first? Or is there a particular way that you sort of structure your body of work? So do you maybe first start out with the lyrics, or do you get a producer sending you beats that you maybe then write to, or do you get given songs by certain composers? How does the creative process work for you?
So on the song, on the album, the songs that I have in there, I think 50% of the album is songs that we sourced out from other writers. We've got Percy in there. He writes for Donald and manages Donald. There's also Linda and a couple of other writers. But then I wrote the other half of the album, because you know, you knew in the industry, you don't know everything, and you don't know if what you're bringing is actually going to work. So I wanted to bring half and half of what I'm bringing to the industry, and half of what other people could help me bring into the industry, because they've been writing for a while. So the process for me writing sometimes means just looking at something. I mean, I wrote Tingy, which is based on nothing, and people love that song. I also wrote Onje Ngawe and I Love You, and My Heart Is Yours was written from a house beat that I received in 2015. But then we changed the song and made it more ballady, and yeah. So it's It works in different ways. Depends what song it is and what mood I'm in or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I must say, I love this refined Thami. What else are you working on, and how has the reception to your album been?
Look, the album went straight to top of the charts the same day that it came out, so I'm proud of that. And it's still working, you know, very nicely. I think it's sitting at number 4 R&B charts on some download platforms. I'm yet to have it in stores. I think some stores already have it. I've been checking around. And if people don't find them in stores, they are welcome to order them. It's #NeverLost or just Never Lost, Thami Never Lost. Just go into stores and order them, and yeah, that's it. The album's been doing very well. It's been posted up at some places as a trending album, and yeah, it's received a lot of love.
All right, great. Well done to you, Thami. There you have it from the man himself, talking to us about his music and album titled Never Lost. Share your views, and our handle is @Morning Live SABC. We now take a short break.